I know it's been longer than just a week since we last did a vlog, but I promise we're getting back on track. Damien's home now, so next week we're going to go ahead and do one on him. But this week we're going to do one on one of our passions, which is LARP. I'm so excited. For those of you who don't know, LARP is live action roleplay. There are several different kinds of LARPs. There are several different ways to play, several different systems or groups, if you will. Our group is Belgarth. It's an international organization that focuses on medieval combat. So it's strictly combat, no magic, and it tries to recreate some of what would have been seen in the medieval era throughout the world. We have people who focus on the way clothes were made. We have people who focus on the way armor was made. We have people who focus on the way weapons were made. So there's a lot beyond just going out and beating on each other with foam weapons, but that is our primary focus. We run the Dubuque realm, which is the realm of Halbren. That's Halbren. We have a Facebook page, we have a Facebook group, you should check them out. I can link them below. But the overall group we are part of is Belgarth. There are things like Nero or Amtgard that are also out there. They do things a little differently than Belgarth, so there's a lot of variations. You can find just exactly what you want. But if you're interested, it's Sundays, 1 to 5 p.m. at Comiskey Park here in Dubuque, Iowa. That's 24th and Jackson Street. You should be able to find it from there if you want to come and check it out. But this week we're just going to focus on a lot of things we do as part of the realm. For instance, we have a short interview with one of our players. She is a teenage girl who comes down with her mom and her dad and her brother, and they hang out, and she's actually a pretty ferocious fighter, so we're going to hear from her later. We've also got a bunch of pictures from some various events, some really cool shots that we're going to be putting in so you guys can see. This is a very fun, active thing. It's one day a week if you want to come to. We have clinics which different groups within our realm run. They teach you different footwork, different technique, that kind of thing. Those are available too, but you would first sign up with us on Sundays and then get more information. You'd also be able to learn how to build your own weapons. So if there's something you've always wanted to try fighting with, we have a wide variety. It's not just swords. We have bows and arrows. We have quarterstaves. We have glaives and spears and just all sorts of things. So if there's something you're really interested in wanting to try, you should definitely come check it out. Real quick, you might notice behind me, kittens and cat at play. They're playing. It sounds really bad, but I've checked on them every single time. Neither one of them walks away with any injury. They end up cleaning each other. So if you hear it and you're concerned, don't worry. I've checked into it. They really are just playing back there. Also, new glasses. Yeah, new glasses, right? A new t-shirt. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. My mother didn't raise a princess. And then at the bottom, I'll stand up so you can see. She trained a shield maiden. Yep. So that's new, fun stuff, randomly. But first, let's go ahead and get into our little interview that we did with Frigga. Her field name is Frigga. Her real name is Ashley. And we'll go ahead and have her little clip now. Okay. All right, so state your field name.
Frigga.
All right, and you went to Bear Brawl.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about Bear Brawl.
There were about 50, 60 people there, and there were a different variety of weapons. There were spears, more spears, stabs, all kinds of stuff.
Did you get to try out a few different kinds of weapons?
The ones Angus had, but he had to leave earlier for a wedding.
Oh, quite cool. Now, you came in second in a free-for-all, is that correct?
Yeah, that was...
All right, so tell us about that.
It was our first free-for-all, and the last person I had to fight was a knight. I don't really remember his name, but I asked a lot of questions about knighthood, and he's very, very, very hard to beat.
Okay, so what questions did you ask about knighthood?
How old you had to be, how long the squireships were, and how many people
What kind of answers did he give you?
The longest squire shoot was 5 years, and the shortest was 2 years. And then the knights they give the squires an amount of stuff to do, and then they take a knighthood test, and then they go through and do that test. If they pass, they become a knight, and then they can go and take squires on from there.
Cool. Is that something you're interested in doing?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so what's your favorite thing about Belgarth LARP?
I like being able to participate with this with my friend. And
Awesome.
The dress up's fun.
Awesome. All right. So if somebody was thinking about coming out to Comiskey Park to come play with us, but they weren't sure if they would have fun, what would you say?
It is fun, and a lot of people don't always play. There are a lot of side players and stuff. It's really fun to watch still, because I remember when I sprained ankle and I was watching, but it's still fun. And I'm sure if you give it a try, then
Awesome. Thanks so much, Frigga. You have a great afternoon. Bye.
Isn't she fun? Isn't she nice? So, I mean, if you're thinking, oh, this isn't for me, you know, I'm not that active or I'm not that sporty, you know, we have a teenage girl out on the field, you know, and she likes to be pretty and skip up and down the field with her best friend. My daughter comes out. My daughter is 14 and she comes out to practices. We have, you know, from 12 and up, really, we have out on our field. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know, this sounds really hardcore, don't worry. We have some people out in the field that are right there with you in terms of, I don't necessarily want to get hit hard. I don't necessarily want to, you know, charge somebody. We completely understand. And for those of you who are sitting here going, oh, they have teenage girls on their field, they can't possibly. We do have the guys who do play a little rougher. That's one of the things that clinics are for. Clinics are a way for people who want to learn some of those more hardcore techniques, want to learn some more of the smash mouth style of playing, can get together, trade tips, trade techniques, practice some of those, because it's an adults only time, really. So whatever your interest level, whatever your activity level, you are welcome, you are wanted. Definitely come check us out. I'll have some links below. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is if you do want to come out, if you're 18 and older, we need to see a photo ID of you proving that you're 18. If you're between 12 and 17, then you need to have a parent or a guardian come out and sign for you, saying that you understand it's a full contact sport, you're taking on that risk, or your parents accepting that risk that you could get injured. The worst we've ever seen is somebody got a bloody nose, and that was a pure accident. It wasn't an intentional hit. It was just one of those things. But in almost, well, say a year and a half. In a year and a half of playing, we've only had really, you know, a bloody nose. That was kind of a big deal. Most of it is, you know, guys will occasionally step wrong and maybe twist their ankle and be out a week. Or, you know, maybe somebody trips and runs into somebody else, and that kind of thing can happen. We focus a lot on safety and on minimizing that kind of risk. So we tell people, you know, you want to get maybe some knee pads, or, you know, a cup, or, you know, maybe have some extra little padding in your shoulders or on your arms or something like that if you're going to be using a shield, that kind of thing. There are a lot of different things that we can suggest if you want to look into them, and we're definitely very happy to help anybody kind of figure out what it is they're going to need. We do provide weapons. Weapon use is $2 a week when you use our weapons. We do teach you how to make your own weapons. There is a cost associated with that, so basically you buy the weapon, which is covering the cost of the materials, and then you have the opportunity to have one of our guys just make it for you, or you can go join in and learn how to make the weapon yourself, and from then on start just making your own gear. If you're interested, that's part of our Facebook group page, Realm of Halbren group. So you can just Facebook search us there, and a lot of that information is going to be posted on that page. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to ask questions. All of our guys love to be able to answer questions. They really love it when somebody new is getting into the sport. Hold on a second. salad. A kitty shouldn't eat salad. Okay, so moving right along. So then at the very end of this, we're going to have some pictures from our realm, our field, just kind of, you know, some of the things that we've seen out there, some of the really cool shots. You can see the kinds of people we are. So that's the end of it. I guess right now I'll talk about some of what you might see on our field. So say you show up Sunday before 1 o'clock. You're going to see a lot of random people in medieval-like outfits. Definitely not necessarily everyday wear. Unloading weapons and gear and getting sorted and set up. At about 1 o'clock, you'll see a man dressed in yellow. I say man because right now it's really one of 3 people and they're all male. One of them with a yellow sash or yellow shirt, something bright and yellow on them, signifying that they're the referee. We call them a marshal on our field, but they're the referee essentially. We'll call fighters to the field. The first little bit will be everybody just kind of warming up. So you're going to see everybody fighting everybody, a lot of chaos, a lot of random battles. You're going to see a lot of what we call respawning. If you're a gamer, you're familiar with that term. There's designated respawn points. When you first show up, if you're brand new, you get taken aside, taught the basic rules of how to kill somebody, essentially, how to respawn, and what to be aware of, what to be mindful of when you're first on the field. And then you get into the games. And the games are a lot of fun. There's a lot of different kinds of games. Essentially, we take games that you might have played when you were younger as a kid with your friends, and we turn them into combat games. So, for instance, we have a version of soccer. It's called Murder Ball. It is a giant, bouncy, lightweight ball. The object of the game is obviously to get it into the goalpost. However, the ball is known as a fireball. If it hits a limb, it takes the limb. If it hits your body, you're dead. If it hits your head, you're dead, that kind of thing. The fireball can break shields. So the object of the game is to definitely try and score the point with the ball, but you have to do it strategically so that way you're not risking life and limb just to move the ball down the field. One of my favorites along that same line is called Aztec football, where someone on your team is the ball. They don't get any weapons, they have to stay close to somebody who has weapons, and you have to be able to move them up and down the field and protect them. The ball can be killed because they don't have any weapons. So again, it's a matter of you got to fight your way through, but you've also got to achieve this objective. So it's really important to kind of balance out your strategy that way. We have a game called Necromancer, where we have zombies who are going to be chasing after you, and you have to kill the zombies. But one of the humans is a necromancer and can raise the dead as zombies. So then it's not just fighting zombies, it's also trying to figure out who's the necromancer and staying alive till the very end. Those are just some of the games we play. We do a good mix of games. We try to mix up a running up and down the field game like Murder Ball against a combat game like Necro, where you don't necessarily have to run a lot, balance them back and forth like that. We also take lots of water breaks, especially in these really hot sunny days. We bring water in coolers, and the water's free. We also sell Powerade for $1, so if you need something with some electrolytes in it, we definitely have something available. We encourage people to bring little snacks, little protein packs, nuts and things like that, just to have something throughout the day, or maybe run up to the gas station and grab some snack throughout the day. We definitely encourage that. During the year, we have a couple of realm-specific events, so these are things that are just for Halbren that we just do to kind of have some fun and encourage people throughout the season. And on those days when it's longer, we might go and pick up a pizza, or a couple pizzas actually, because we have close to 30 people showing up on some of these events. And that way, everybody chips in for some pizza, and you have some pizza, and you have some drinks, and it's a nice afternoon. It is still very kid friendly, even for those people who don't have kids. It's still a nice atmosphere. We've got a lot of guys who are coming and hanging out with their buddies, and the cool thing is I've seen the teenagers are becoming more assertive and more confident in themselves. And some of these other guys are becoming a little more considerate, a little more compassionate of other people, really being aware of other people. Because we really strive for a community feel on the field. We want people to feel like they're welcomed and important and appreciated every single Sunday that they come out. Beyond Halbren, Belgarth runs, other realms will run events. There's usually about 2 events a month that other realms put on. Some of them are, 5-hour, 6-hour, 7-hour drive away. Some of them are only an hour, maybe 45 minutes. There are one-day events where you're just going up on like a Saturday, you're hanging out, you're having fun, you're fighting, and then you're done. Some of them are longer events, camping events. Some of them will start as early as setup starts as Wednesday night and it goes all the way through Sunday. Some of them, most of them I've seen start like a Thursday or Friday night is camping setup, and then they're done by Sunday. So there's a wide variety of ways to get involved. There are people out there who are just making stuff. They run a side business, or they're slowly building up to a business of just making various things for this sport. And then there are people who come and they make sure that everybody has water, and they do sewing projects on the side, and they make sure people put on sunscreen if they need it, and they help us keep track of money, and they help us keep track of who's supposed to be doing what for the realm outside of just coming and fight. So even if you're not necessarily interested in getting out on the field per se, there are a lot of things you can do to support this community and get involved and make some really great friends beyond just fighting. However, we do have archers, which means that you would be a ranged weapon, first of all. You would stay out of the main melee area, and archers are understood to not necessarily need to get hit in order to die. Most archers that I have seen don't necessarily carry a second weapon on them, so when somebody with a sword gets within a few steps, it's understood that the archer's just dead. You don't actually have to take a hit as an archer if you don't want to. So even if you're a little on the fence, come on, come check it out. Come sit with us in the shade, get out in some sun, see what it's all about. So that is kind of my sales pitch for Halbren, for Belgarth, for coming out and hanging out with this crazy group of people. I hope that I've mentioned something that piques your interest. Definitely Sunday at 1 o'clock, Comiskey Park, 24th and Jackson Street. I will put some links below so that way you can see more information, get to know some of the people you'll be meeting before you get there. And I'm going to finish up with a fun photo montage. So see you all next week when we'll talk about Damien. Love you all lots. Bye.